Hello lovelies, and welcome to today's video. My name's Alia and I'm so glad you stopped by. So today is another Tichel tutorial, and as you can tell by my crazy look today, we are going to be talking about brooches. So I have managed to collect a few that do match my outfit, and we can go through a few different ways to attach, why you would place them in certain ways, in certain positions, and the different looks and styles that achieves. So I hope you're interested. I hope you enjoyed today's Tichel accessorizing video talking about brooches. Okay, so we'll be starting off with this beautiful silk divine sort of off-white scarf, because first of all it's lovely neutral. I am wearing sort of a very flowery dress, so I thought I'll go for something quite simple, quite toned down. I've also got white shoes on, so this isn't quite stark white, so it's kind of got that softness about it being a little bit of a off-white color. And I'm just going to pull it a little bit back, fold it under. Same thing happened at the bottom. I don't have it folded at all, it's just a little bit gathered. I'm just going to bring it up. I've got my non-slip headband on. I actually really don't like this one, it's very thick, but what's good about it is that it's the exact color of my hair, and this being a very sheer scarf, it doesn't really point out my hair too much. So because I did it with all those creases rather than folding it, I get these gorgeous patterns through the fabric, and being silk, it reflects beautifully. The other thing I didn't mention is I've got them really unevenly. So I've got this gorgeous tail that remains. So I've just tied it off at the back. I'm going to let that little tail hang out. I'm just going to spread this as wide as I can. This is really important because again it's a sheer scarf, so I'm just going to gather it, do something cute with it, keeping it very simple though, and then this is the last step. So I'm actually going to use a little dressmaker's pin to start with, and I'm just going to tap it into itself, so the pin's actually going to come out the other side. Okay, so I've got this little finish here, because my whole look is going to depend quite heavily on this next stage, which is what this video is all about. Okay, so I have gone around and borrowed and sourced and borrowed again these beautiful brooches, with them stunning, and they all, I think, match my dress quite nicely. Little beetle, and I've tried to make them all quite different looking. I've even got this little flower, it's on a safety pin too. I've even got this gorgeous number, which I'm in love with. It's so pretty. I actually had earrings gifted to me very similar to this once upon a time, which is a little bit too much, but as a brooch I think this is just stunning, and the curved shape of it is wonderful for Tichels. And then I've even gone as far as this next one, just to demonstrate how well this can work or not work, depending on what you're doing. So this next one's a bit of a different one. Yep, there she is, Lady Liberty. I just want to show how different styles and different tastes can totally work. So even though my Tichel's not boring, it's quite straightforward. The really only thing that I've done that's a little bit complex is that flip at the end and a way to secure it. You can even use a white pin to secure it, and then it'll be completely invisible. I've gone for green because my dress has a lot of green through it. I'm pretty sure if you looked really hard you could see it, but it wouldn't be that obvious being a tiny little pin head just there. I don't know if you can see, guys, but it is still a layered look. It is still very stylish, and it's silk. Silk is never boring, it's never dull. It's silk, so it will always look really, fabulous. And what's wonderful about silk is it breathes. So for a warm summer's day, and if you've got a nice occasion to go to, even if it's small and intimate, especially these days with COVID, why not wear a brooch? Why not dress it up with a little bit of jewelry and style? So I'm going to actually start with this beautiful jade one. Now I'm just going to point out that I am not a fan of gold at all. I wear typically either silver or white gold in my jewelry. Yellow's not my jam, because if you have a look at it, it's very similar to my skin tone. So if I wear a gold necklace, it tends to just blend in and look kind of unimpressive on me. So I much prefer the contrast of something in the grey tones, so silver or white gold. So when it comes to my accessories, that's the only time I'm really going to be able to pull off something like this, because it's got the Tichel as its background rather than my skin tone, which is really quite yellowy. just done it up so it doesn't accidentally snag my silky tichel. I'm going to show you where I would place it first, and then maybe we'll pin it in. The other thing I was going to say is that I would never secure, well, never say never, but I would avoid securing the tichel with a brooch. I think that a brooch should be an afterthought and can be potentially removed. That's how I would do it, even if it means having an extra pin somewhere, or an extra knot somewhere. Unless you're just pinning through to secure, maybe something just to flatten it or whatever, I wouldn't use the brooch for anything more than decoration. My biggest reason for that is brooches can snag the scarves, no matter what the scarf is made from, even if it's pashmina or whatever. At the end of the day, you're dealing with fabric, and I don't know if I would be so keen on doing anything too complicated with a heavy brooch, because they're a little bit weighty. Even on a dress, even if I was to put a brooch sort of here on my dress, which would look quite cute, I've actually got a piece of cotton running through this dress to keep it closed, and then I would put a brooch on top rather than using the actual holes to keep the dress together. At the end of the day, when it comes to pins, I would keep it as simple as possible, because then that way you're not going to be doing as much damage with your fabric. So let's have a look. Potentially place it just here and keep it quite subtle underneath the spin there. Or the other place I really like it is actually through where the pin is already. Really nice too. And the other thing you could try is actually go upside down with it. We'll put it through the fabric there. And actually try and twist it a little bit like that, standing it up. How cute that is too. So it makes a really big difference to the look of it. It really dresses it up with that really beautiful contrasting piece just underneath the twist there. What do you think? Does it make much of a difference? I think it's really dressy. You might even want to match your earrings with it, or do something a little bit more for the look, but I just quite like that it has its own accessory. The next one I have is this little fella. How cute is he? He's got blue eyes, a little black bejeweled back, and then a gorgeous abdomen made of a sort of stone kind of finish. Very, very cute, or maybe an enamel. Actually, this might be a bit of an enamel type thing. With this one, just to show something different, even though the twist and the feature is on this side, I would even go as far as you can do something like this, right? Just to make it look like you've got this guy attending the party too. Look at that. You could potentially do something really, really cheeky, or going with that same idea back here. I really like it. It's really random, and it just gives it that little moment of, oh, what's that on your head? I love the little almost photo bomb, tickle bomb that's going on there. How cute is that? And if you look at the way it is front on, it really evens out the look. It's not that asymmetrical styling anymore. It's got that whole, you know how you can get jackets that like on one side they've got a pocket, and on the other side it's just a little picture, embroidery, little set of buttons or pins or something like that. It's got that whole vibe about it, and it's still coming on to the crease, so it still makes sense to the whole folds of the story. I just love how it's just, because it is a little character, how it's just adding to the overall look. With something that doesn't really have any kind of shape or story to tell, because you see how the other ones have curvature or character to them, this one doesn't really do much. It's kind of like a earring or a button. It's a little bit more restrictive in its styling. It's actually had a little thing attached to it to be worn as a necklace, if you like, as a pendant. So it's kind of got that pendanty kind of thing going on for it. Something like this would be very, really cute just through here. I'm going to actually use the non-slip headband as a way to hold this in place, because it is a little bit heavier. This might actually look a little bit better on a darker background, so perhaps on a green tichel or a black tichel, something like that. Well, how cool is that? So obviously I'm a brunette, so that works as well. You could even have a strip of something underneath to contrast, maybe a little green something underneath. But I love that even though we've got this little asymmetrical finish on this turban, you do still get this, I know, Princess Jasmine sort of vibe with this brooch, and it's just so pretty, and it gives it that kind of Sultana, Arabic princess. I don't know, it's got this kind of next element about it, and it's really, really cute. I wouldn't even love it as much if I had a much more symmetrical tichel on, to be honest. It would remind me a little bit of those kind of hat style head covers, which you know, if that's your preference, great. I personally don't love them. I feel like they're a little bit like something you would wear at home rather than out. Whereas this way, with a bit more asymmetry, a bit more interest, and also using silks, that makes so much sense to have that much more elegant and royal vibe about it. You could even do the little detail maybe a little bit higher up. That's another option, just to, if you want that sort of shape, depending on the shape of your face. Because my face is quite round, I actually like the asymmetry. I feel like it distracts from it, and I don't necessarily want height all the time. So this is just another option. What about something a little bit more fun and playful and girly or casual perhaps? Something like this. You can easily get in one of those little $2 shops or accessory shops. This actually used to have a big pin on it that you could just slip it into your hair or into your tichel if you want. But the good thing about it is it comes on this really giant pin. So with something like this, I actually would consider using it as my holding piece, because there's just so much fabric that you can get under here. You're unlikely to kind of snag it as much, although you would still have to be very, very careful. And also, unlike the other ones, which are more jewelry like, this one's a bit more of an accessory type thing. So this pin's actually quite thin in comparing to some of the others. But so something like this, I would definitely get it in there where all the tassels are, and just add it to the little party side of the tichel. So this would be really cute, especially for a daytime look, or, you know, if you have something that's more like orchids or maybe even a rose, something that sort of lends itself to a particular theme. I've just got really cute little pink flowers throughout my dress. They're actually red and peach, but from a distance they actually, you know, the bright pink doesn't offend at all. So that was really cute, and the pink looks really good with the cool colors and the blue and green throughout the dress. So it was definitely a cute idea. But if you go for an orchid or a frangipani or a rose, you're more lending yourself to a particular theme. So rose would probably scream a little bit more Hispanic style hair arrangement, or if you go for a frangipani or something like an orchid, you're going for more that Polynesian or Southeast Asian kind of vibe. So definitely a bit more beachy, or maybe a bit more, you know, something a bit more tango-y kind of. Whereas if you're going with something like this, it doesn't really say much. All it's doing is inviting a little bit of color, a little bit of pop of fun into the tichel look. You could even go for something like a burgundy color or a bit more of a serious color flower, just to make it a little bit more mature if bright pink isn't your vibe. I would even go as far as using colors like black or blue or green flowers, which are clearly not natural in any respect, but it does kind of vibe back with the dress. If I had a little sort of tea rose kind of thing going on, I would love to include that. Even an off-white flower that matches the tichel and would blend in could also be very, very cute in this look. The other place you could put it if your game is right by your ear. Again, going back to that whole familiar look where you got that tango look or that Polynesian look or tropical Pacific kind of look, this is definitely where you're more likely to find it. If you're someone who likes to make a statement, you know, if you want to put like a selfie pin into your hair, or like a political badge into your hair accessory, by all means go for it. I think so much fun if that's your vibe, especially with a cute denim dress or a denim jacket. That'd be very, very 90s kind of vibe. I would love to see someone do like a little, you know, smiley face and say some kind of a political number, or, you know, those little things that they used to put on backpacks and things like that. Introducing that into a tichel could be so much fun. And if you're going to do something statementy and do something maybe like this, or I Heart New York, or one of those type of things, this would be so cool. But where would you place it? That's the question. You could definitely just go for something easy and just go with just having it like this, where her crown vibes with your crown. I think that makes the most sense, just like that. But on the side profile it doesn't work as well. So let's see how else we could place it. Okay, awesome. So what I've done is I've actually not closed the pin. I've just slipped it in. My not zip headband is making sure it won't move. The crown is sitting really cute against the profile of my little poof here. On the side you can still very much see that there's something there, but because it's quite a flat brooch, I don't really want it to lie flat. It would look silly from the front, so I'm quite happy for it to stand up. And what I've done is I've just flipped this little part of the fold upwards a little bit, so she's just peeking out from underneath the tichel. So I don't actually have a proper fold that you can go into, but I've just created one by using this little flip here. How cute is that? So it's just a little, I know, like a Mad Hatter's card type moment. It's sticking out, definitely making a statement, definitely a talking moment. And you know, if this is your style, for sure go for it. I would love, for me personally, to have like a little, maybe like a little Hamza sticking out or something like that. Or if you know, if you're really into cats, that could be a cute thing, like a little kitten moment there. There's so many options with this type of styling. Just to have a little bit of fun, you know, something to dress it up, but also speak your personality and really demonstrate your character. Now, I think I have saved the best for last. How absolutely stunning is this one here, especially with all the colors that happen to also be in this dress. You've got the blue, you've got the pink, you've got the green, of course, and the white. It's even got a few little lavender moments or lilac amethysty kind of moments there too, which don't necessarily come up on the dress but work really well with it. This is another one where I would probably consider it as a pin, although I don't love it so much here. I don't think I would ever wear a brooch like this or earrings like this or even a ring like this. It's a little bit too loud. I do like multicolored gemstones in my jewelry, but not with all this white enamel as well, whereas in a Tichel, for sure, I think the way this one would be celebrated best is to have it sitting just with the poof here, but see how this way it's sitting on that kind of profile. So I wouldn't really want it flat against my head. I'd want it sort of against that poof. So let's see if we can achieve that. Now this direction, it means that the clasp is opening that way, so this might be a little tricky. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start just by the bottom bit. So what I've done is I've actually fed my finger through the underside of this poof and found the other edge of the pin as I pushed it up, and then of course closed it on the actual poof. So what that means is that I actually get it to stand up a little bit where instead of being flat against my head. So really cute, and you can definitely jiggle it around. You can maybe even use a little pin to kind of secure it where you want as well. That's another little trick you could do. Invisible pin, but it definitely helps to keep it standing up where I want it to, and definitely keeps it secure because it is, again, remember, a little bit of weight on the scarf. So I wouldn't put it on the actual poof because it would just flatten it down. But right there on the edge, it actually helps to stand it up, and it's just so glamorous and shiny and just really dresses this up even more than this first one did. I think this one definitely gives it that light spring kind of feeling. It just happens to go with the style of the dress that I'm in, but isn't this just absolutely something else? Just very subtle because the white blends in, and this is what I mentioned before. If you use white on white, you'll still get a little bit of that zing, that little extra bit of detail without being too obvious. And this is just so subtly shiny and cute and elegant. Very fun. So what did you think, lovelies? I hope you absolutely adored the look and all the different broches and the different ideas of how to dress up your Tichel when you're just wearing something straightforward. There's definitely lots and lots of options. You can use just plain pins, you can use decorative heads on pins, maybe your favorite hair tie can be attached somehow. There are so many options, you know, even incorporating other bits of jewelry like pendants and whatnot to really dress up your Tichel. For more videos, please go ahead and subscribe and be notified when there is another video going up. For more looks, please head over to Instagram. Lots going on there as always, so please do check it out and follow me there. Don't forget to hit like, and wherever you are around the world, I hope you're having a wonderful day, you're staying safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!